The Uncle Henry Show underway. Thank you for listening to The Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Wonderful to be back with you on The Uncle Henry Show. And a special occasion, the show revived on WNTM for a special guest, joined in studio by singer-songwriter Eric Erdman. Eric Erdman, welcome back to The Uncle Henry Show.
Thank you, Uncle Henry. I'm proud to be here.
It is, now you tell us, now we're going to hear some music from Eric Erdman, and again, you can find out about Eric Erdman at ericerdmanmusic.com, ericerdmanmusic.com. So tell me, where have you been traveling to?
Well, I've had my normal wild traveling schedule, and then it got upped over the last month, so I did about 10 days in Mexico, Isla Mujeres, Mexico, and Puerto Morelos. And then I went to London, and then I went to Tokyo, all in about 3.5 weeks.
Mexico, London, Tokyo. How did this happen? How did it occur that you were traveling the world?
Well, it wasn't one thing. It's just if you are out in the world of music for long enough, different friendships and avenues, bear fruit, or however you want to say it. I don't want to say like a friendship is bearing fruit. It's just that's where the connection came from. Anyway, so like this avenue offered me a songwriting gig I've been doing for about 4 years now, annually in Mexico. So the first thing was Songwriter's Island brought me to Mexico, and then I've recently been playing guitar in the Buddy Rich Big Band, and they had a gig in Ronnie Scott's in London. So I went there, and then another group of Nashville songwriters invited me to be part of their band in Tokyo to play for the troops. So they're totally independent ventures, all three parts of the legs of the tour. So
for those of us that are fans of yours in Mobile and South Alabama, I guess fans all over the world, we've gotten to watch some of your travels through Facebook, just by following you on Facebook and seeing you having interesting food experiences and other things all over the globe.
I'm not the greatest of social media, person, but I try to at least put some things up there when I can think about it. So for every one of those pictures, there's 1,000 more things that we did, and life-changing moments and odd foods. I didn't eat too many super weird foods, but we did go to this one really traditional Japanese place where we just told the chef, "Bring us what you would like us to have," which is a scary. That's a scary thing to say.
What did he bring?
Well, I think he went light on us and brought us versions of chicken. So it was all varieties of chicken, but it was delicious, like a 7-course meal. It was like the first thing was the oddest. It was like the appetizer was a small bowl. It had a cold egg, like half boiled egg, and like a soy sauce with sesame seeds on the top of it.
Now, as you travel and do these highfalutin things, which sounds very highfalutin, what you've just described.
Fairly medium-falutin.
Okay, well, medium-falutin type of item. As you do this, what do the people of the Parkway, because I know you have Parkway roots, what is the reaction? Do they think that you've got the big head now? Do the people of the Parkway
I don't know.
think
you have to ask them that, but I surely don't, because as soon as I get off the road, I go directly back to the Parkway. That is my residence. So
okay, so you're still connected to DIP, Dauphin Island Parkway.
I moved. When I was many years ago, when I was 24, I moved into Navco, which is not exactly Parkway, but I'm still in the 36605. So hopefully they didn't kick me out for
Okay, I want to ask you more specifically. I want to talk about all these things, but going to Japan to play for the troops.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about what that was like. First question is, what did the troops think of you?
Well, they were amazing, and they're always amazing. So I've been fortunate enough to do 4 USO tours for the troops with my band, The Ugly Stick, my former band, The Ugly Stick, and just those trips are the most validating and humbling experiences ever. And I always vowed if I had the opportunity arise, no matter what, I would go back and play for the troops. And so when this came I actually had to cut my trip in London in half in order to do the Japan thing. But I was like, I promised myself I will not miss a chance to play for the troops. So my friend Tom Shepard and Coley McCabe, they've been doing shows for the troops more often than I had. I think this was their 19th trip for the overseas for.
Wow.
So this was their baby, their thing. And what they wanted to do is bring a group of songwriters from Nashville to play, but instead of making it like a acoustic songwriter round, make it more sound like a band. So I actually, on that one, I faked my way on the bass guitar.
Okay, so you faked your way on bass guitar.
Yes.
And played for the troops. Mm-hmm. Troops liked it?
Oh, yeah, it was great. It was, it was a big, they call it a clamshell, it's a big amphitheater kind of thing. It was really hot. I was surprised by that. I had always heard my whole life that Tokyo or Japan and Mobile kind of have similar climates, and it felt like summer in Mobile was 94 degrees, 100% humidity. So it was brutal because we were outside with no shade. But yeah, I was telling them, because I'd always heard my whole life too that because of the climate and something about Tokyo Bay, the only two places in the world that have a Jubilee is Eastern Shore of Mobile Bay and Tokyo Bay in the world. And it was funny. I asked like 5 people, and none of them had heard of it. So maybe that was just in our science books.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was. All right, now we will have to take some commercial breaks during the program. Before we take one, would you please us? Would you pleasure us with a song?
Oh, I'd love to. I've been doing this video series where I'm releasing a previously unreleased song every week for the year of 2019, which is a lot of songs. But this is the one that's actually coming out tomorrow. So because you're listening to the Uncle Henry Show, you get a sneak peek. And this is one I wrote with my friend Donnie Brewer, and it's called The Wave, written on the shores of Mobile Bay, I'll add. Tumble of sea foam green crashes at my feet, headlong to meet its end. It caught my eye just before advance and retreat, before the next one came rolling in. It's gone. I wanna know the time it spent. I wanna know 'cause I wanna go where that wave has been. Was it just one more born from the pull of the tide, or the wake of some mighty ship? Or maybe on a foreign shore, some wide-eyed child had a dream and a stone to skip. Places I've never seen, and when I got on a skip a stone, hoping the wave it starts might reach another wide-eyed soul with that dream. I wanna know how far it's come. I wanna know the time it's been. that wave has been.
Magnificent. Outstanding. Eric Erdman. EricErdmanMusic.com is the website. Now, this will debut. People can see this tomorrow.
Tomorrow at noon Central. I always do it at noon, Mobile time, no matter where I'm at on the earth. So if you tune into my Facebook page or my website, it'll direct you to my YouTube channel. So go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, because that way you'll be the first, unless you're an Uncle Henry listener, the first, before the first. The VIPs are the Uncle Henry Show listeners.
God bless you.
And then my YouTube channel is the fastest way after that.
And is the YouTube channel also Eric Erdman Music?
I'm sorry, I don't even know.
We will find out.
Find it.
We will find out. But the website, EricErdmanMusic.com. Back with more Eric Erdman in just a moment here on this special edition of the Uncle Henry Show.
Hi, it's Virginia O'Brien from Mobile Bay Financial Solutions. Dad, what did your teacher tell you?
Now, we are live on Facebook.
Hey, Facebook.
We are live on Facebook.
Should I go over? Should I field Facebook questions?
Should you field? Yes, Facebook. If you have any questions, feel free to type them in there, and we'll have
this interactive.
Let's make it interactive. Eric Erdman. Just what a pleasure it is to have a private concert, even though this is public on Facebook and the radio. I'm the only other human in the room, and I'm getting the private concert from Eric Erdman. It is a magnificent thing. How often do you write about the Bay or about water?
It's actually not as I would think that I would write about it more. Actually, I've been times. My buddy Wes Loper is a phenomenal musician from Mobile. Lives in Nashville now, but he has a lot of songs of rivers and bays and boats and all this stuff. And after listening to his catalog, there have been times where I'm like, I should write more water. like I have not been doing justice to my hometown. So anyway, I think I'm starting to balance the ship.
Okay, very nice. So in the next segment of the show, we'll be able to fit in another song.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so
think of what song that
you
might
can
be.
think about that, and in the next segment, we may talk briefly about one of the other countries that you visited.
Okay.
The spirits of the troops that you visited, everybody seemed to be doing okay there?
Yeah, they all, I mean, I don't want to say they always are, but yeah, they're so happy to have something to take their mind off of what they're doing, like something American.
Right.
And music, you can't get any more. I feel like it's the fastest thing to be like, yes, put me back at home. So my experience is every one of those shows, it's just smiles and just genuine, like you can see the whole crowd is just like a needed comfort and a needed relaxation for a minute. So it's very powerful to play for them, and then they all come up, and then you get in that battle where they go, you don't understand. Thank you so much for coming. I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's why I came over here. Thank you for your sacrifices. And then you get in let me thank you more than you thank me,
Here we go. We're back on the radio.
All free on the iHeartRadio app. #1 for podcasts.
Uncle Henry Show continues here on News Radio 710 WNTM, special edition of the Uncle Henry Show at this hour so that we can have Eric Erdman, local singer-songwriter. I don't know that I should call you local. I mean, you originate from the Parkway, but you are now internationally known. You're growing. You've been talking about your trip to Japan, London, Mexico, but you've been going. Is it Australia you've been visiting a lot?
Yeah, I've been to Australia a few times. There's a duo named the Hussey Hicks, which I know is not an Uncle Henry approved title.
You've
but
told
phenomenal.
you've told me about the Hussey Hicks in previous shows. About you've formed a strange allegiance and bond with the Hussey Hicks.
I love them, and they actually not surprising to me, but they came to Mobile, and it's like one of their favorite places on earth. So every time they do an international tour, the first leg stops in Mobile, hangs out with us, plays some gigs, and then they go wherever. So after years of that, they have taken me over there multiple times. Actually, currently, our local musician from Mobile, Christy Leah, who's a legend, she's over there right now touring with the Hussey Hicks. So you got a little Mobile in Australia right now.
That's very nice. Now, you mentioned that you were in London. What was going on in London?
So the Buddy Rich big band, and Buddy Rich passed away in the 80s, unfortunately, but was the greatest drummer of all time. And so his legacy continues, his music continues, and I'm friends with Buddy's daughter, Kathy Rich, who is, continuing the name, continuing the brand, and she has found the final recordings Buddy ever did, like 4 months before he passed away.
Okay.
And asked me if I would help mix those recordings. So I flew to Chicago, and a team of us mixed that, and that's not released yet. It should be out within a month. It should be out, and it's just epic. It's the greatest. It's mind blowing. Probably the greatest thing I've been a part of producing or mixing or listening.
For Buddy Rich fans, can you be a little more specific? Could you characterize the type of music they're going to hear?
So it's big bands, it's swing jazz, but the thing. This is just my personal account, but what I think set Buddy apart from everyone else is that music is beautiful and complex, but it can very quickly fall over into elevator music, or it becomes like soft or something. It loses all of its edge.
Right.
And Buddy played with a fiery, raging passion that it felt like you were listening to like John Bonham play that complex music. And that's what, to me, separated him. And on this recording that I'm speaking of, it is never more evident.
Well, there are infamous Buddy Rich rants online of him speaking to his passion. He was so into it and so passionate about it, he demanded excellence from everybody around him.
There was... I never met Buddy Rich, so I can't speak from personal thing, but I've heard the same tapes we've all heard.
Yeah.
And I think there's always probably a nice way to say things. But to his credit, he was so good and so far. He knew that was what was separating him from that was his sound, and it's his name on the banner. So if you show up and you just play lackadaisical,
it reflects on Buddy Rich.
It drags the whole thing back into sounding like everybody else. And it's like, well, if we're going to be different, we have to be very meticulous. And it seems that some of you are not being as meticulous. So, he went the drill sergeant route, but,
So you were part of a team mixing this music, and then you ended up playing some of this music?
Yeah, while we were in the studio, actually, it was totally, I was not expecting it, but Kathy was like, hey, you're going to be in California on said date. Well, we have a Hollywood, gig at the Catalina Jazz Club, which is a legendary jazz club, and she said, we need a guitar player, you want to be our guitar player? And I was like, maybe, let me see those charts. So I said, I'll do it if I have enough leeway to, do my homework. So they did, and I did it, and I thought that was just going to be a lifetime achievement, one-time deal. But we played the gig, and they said, man, you were great. You want to do our next one? We're going to do one in, we did Hollywood. We did, I can't even keep track now. Somewhere else. Then we did, anyway, basically, so now when they get gigs, they where they need guitar. That music doesn't always have guitar in it. Some of Buddy's recordings did, but I would say it's a small, like 15 to 20% of the songs had it in there. So they don't need a guitar player on every gig, but they've just been inviting me because we're buddies. So
Okay, sounds like an incredible adventure, a departure from what you would normally do.
Yeah, and I love a challenge, and we were talking off the air about the more different things I'm able to do. For me, it helps inspire me when I go back to what I'm comfortable with. I'm thinking of it with a slightly different.
Yeah. All right, before we go into our news break, we have news coming up for the radio listener here in just a few minutes. Can you please pleasure us with another song?
How about this one? This is another one that was featured on my Fresh Song Fridays video series, and this is one about when I was a younger man. Maybe I thought I knew more than I did, and wised up to the fact that as time has progressed. This is the one I wrote with my friend Jamie Kent. Every kid at 16 blowing off steam with a lead foot, doing donuts around what my parents said. I wound it up to 90 everywhere I went, until I spied a web that windshield with my head. I made a stump in the yard from that sycamore tree, it left me this scar of humility. I learned I had to forget what I knew to know what I got. Chip on my shoulder, had to find a new spot. I was Superman until I was not, bulletproof until I was shot. Had to forget what I knew to know what I got. Friday night football, you know all the school was there, but under the bleachers was my domain. Stealing kisses was my business, and business was good until the safety caught me and his girl after the game. He made a stump from the tree I thought I was, and I ran my mouth right before he busted it up. I learned I had to forget what I knew to know what I got. Chip on my tooth and one in the wrong spot. I was Superman until I was not, bulletproof until I was shot. Had to forget what I knew to know what I got. Must have something to do with the view from the fall, but the least I've ever known is when I thought I knew it all. I learned I had to forget what I knew to know what I got. Chip on my shoulder, had to find a new spot. I was Superman until I was not, bulletproof until I was shot. Had to forget what I knew to know what I got. I had to forget what I knew to know what I got. Chip on my shoulder, had to find a new spot. I was Superman until I was not, bulletproof until I was shot. Had to forget what I knew to know what I got. I had to forget what I knew to know what I got.
Magnificent. Outstanding. Now, where people can find this, is this available on your YouTube channel?
It is available on my YouTube channel, and the easiest way is just to go to ericerdmanmusic.com, and it's all right there on the front page.
Very good. Eric Erdman is going to stay with us for the next half hour. We're going to take a quick time out for news and weather, and then back with more here on News Radio 710 WNTM Uncle Henry Show.
Gulf Coast weather from NBC 50.
Oh, all right. Now we are. Eric Erdman is watching himself on Facebook.
Well, I was trying to listen to see if anybody had any questions, but they're not.
They do. They do have a question. I've got one here for you. Mm-hmm. Roger Bird wants to know your influences. What people are some of your musical influences?
Okay, that's easy. James Taylor, Jim Croce, and then as I got more, older and able to, those were my immediate young influences. My parents always had I remember pulling the records out of the record player and playing James Taylor and Jim Croce and Jackson Browne and blah, 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 all the 70s songwriters. And then as I got older, I found, Mac McAnally and David Wilcox and some, I'm not calling them obscure, but more obscure than those, than James Taylor and people like that. And so I've always just been drawn to acoustic music, which is why I play acoustic guitar.
Now, let me ask you, off of that question from Roger Bird watching on Facebook, What about, aside from the music, are there other musicians that are in the same realm of music that you are that have kind of inspired you, kind of blazing a trail that you want to follow, like other local musicians that you could see are making it?
I will tell you this, and I've been a fan of this dude forever, and so has, I think, most of the Mobile area and all the Mobile musicians, but Will Kimbrough, that's not a secret that he's amazing. He's been around, Will and the Bushmen were a big deal, back then, and Will continued and has always done great things, but he's just a master. I saw him this week at Callahan's in Mobile. He was doing a CD release, and I just sat there just getting my mind blown. And that's hard for him to do because I already know what level to expect, and even with my high expectation, I just think sometimes we forget to properly regale Will, because he deserves it, and he's a genius. And I think it's because, in addition to being the singer-songwriter that he is and master guitar player, a lot of his gigs are he's an auxiliary background vocalist and guitar player for Rodney Crowell, for Emmylou Harris, for all these other big acts. So he's kind of he's part of the band, but and he's amazing at that. But I'm just saying, when you see him with an acoustic guitar, it is another force of nature, and I think I would definitely consider that one of the things I'm most proud of Mobile. And you're saying if somebody blazed the path, like he's not a generation above me. It's not like he's my parents' age. He's like an cooler older brother's age, but he has definitely done things that we all want to do. Like
Well, that was the question that I was asking. Seeing somebody, not necessarily from another generation, but somebody doing that, earning a living doing what you want to do, because it can be difficult for the singer-songwriter if they can't make those connections the way you've made. Right. As far as they can be excellent, but you gotta eat.
Yeah, it's true. It's a really tough gig no matter what you do. So just to see someone succeeding in it is inspirational. I mean, being from here, we obviously have Jimmy Buffett has been largely successful. Wet Willie, it was always, that was the Mobile band that but there were artists, and they did their thing, and they're still doing their thing, and they're amazing, and we all love them. Like, you lose your Mobile card if you don't like Wet Willie, I think.
Now, we have another comment from Facebook. Let me see if I can find this comment. It was let's see. Claudia says, I saw you perform in Boulder in 2010.
Okay.
You were with or were the Ugly Stick.
Yes.
I met your mom and your stepdad there. Had a great time. How is your brother Jimmy doing these days?
Yes, I remember that show. One of my favorite things about that show is there was a guy in the dirt, like in front of the stage. So was everybody, hundreds of people out there having a good time. But he was dancing around in the dirt on roller skates, which I found was kind of probably bad roller skate maintenance. But he was having such a good time that we noticed his shirt said "Don't worry, be happy," which was also a good ensemble. So we invited him up onto the stage with us, and we did impromptu version of "Don't worry, be happy," and it was a magical moment. But everybody's good.
All right.
My Jimmy's good. My mom's good. Everybody's good.
All right. We're going to go back on the radio. Will you be able to play another song in the next segment?
Absolutely.
All right.
Just got to figure out which one.
Stand by. Here we go.
This is Fox News.
Don't miss a minute of Rush Limbaugh. Just say, Alexa, set an alarm for News Radio 710 WNTM on iHeartRadio.
Setting alarm for Rush Limbaugh.
Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. A rare re-emergence of the Uncle Henry Show on WNTM because of the special occasion of Eric Erdman joining us. Eric Erdman of Dauphin Island Parkway in Mobile, Alabama, traveling the globe, spreading the values that he was raised with on Dauphin Island Parkway to the world. We talked about you playing with Buddy Rich, the Buddy Rich band or orchestra, in London. So how was it in London? Did you meet any celebrities that you can tell us about in London?
Yes. So because Buddy is so revered, whenever the band goes to any city, the very, very high up the chain drummers will come out and sit in and do a couple songs, because how cool would that be to be a drummer always idolizing Buddy, and now you can go play with his band and do a couple of the charts. So like when we were in New York, Max Weinberg from Bruce Springsteen and Conan O'Brien show did a few songs, and then in London the whole run was Ian Pace from Deep Purple.
Okay.
So that was really cool. Ian was a great guy. And then just to come see the band, we were fortunate because Rod Stewart came and hang out. And then actually after I had left for Tokyo, the members of Queen came and hung out.
The members of Queen?
Well, obviously not Freddie, but
right,
the rest,
but
the remaining members.
So you got to spend time with Queen?
I did not, but I left. And I had to leave. What? I was in London for a week. I mean, the band was in London for a week. I was in London for like 3 days, and then I had to go to Tokyo. So on day 5, Queen came.
So the only guy you met was the Deep Purple guy?
And Rod Stewart.
Oh, so you met Rod Stewart. Did he treat you like a peon?
Oh, not at all. He was very laid back and very, very down to earth. It was quite refreshing. He hung out with us for a long time and cut up. And he's got a very tall wife.
Okay.
I mean, I know that's a weird thing to say.
That is an unusual observation. Yes. Okay. I'll have to remember to ask future guests their impression of other men's wives. Now, before we get to another song, and Eric Erdman, ericerdmanmusic.com is the website. Before we get to another song, you mentioned that you were also in Mexico for a songwriter.
Yes.
What was it?
So there's an organization called Songwriters Island, and they put on these great house concerts. So they'll bring people. They're based in Florida. So for years they've been bringing traveling, touring musicians in and doing a ticketed show at their house for 30, 40, 50 people. Well, it kept getting bigger and bigger. So they just said, well, I wonder if we can do one here. And so now they're just a full blown. They have an internet radio station. They're a promotion team, and they put on these great events. And one of which is in Isla Mujeres, Mexico. So for the last 3 or 4 years, I've gone once a year. And they changed the lineup, but it's usually always me and one of my friends, Jen Bostic, who's phenomenal. And this year it was me, Jen Bostic, and Tall Paul and Christy, and we trade songs.
Well, if this is happening from year to year, I'm going to assume the reception in Mexico is a very warm reception. The people enjoy it.
Yeah, it's one of my. It might be my favorite gig of the year. It's in paradise. It's just wonderful. Everybody is great. The show is very well organized and put on. And anyway, I just look forward to it every year.
Do you play? How do you select what you're going to play when you're there?
It's probably more professional. Like when I show up at the Uncle Henry show, if I had written down like the songs I might want to play.
Yeah.
But I just find it's more fun when you throw caution to the wind and play off of what is happening.
Okay.
So it depends on what songs they play. Will direct what I'm going to play.
All right. So the thing in Mexico, you'll be doing it for the foreseeable future.
I'm already
invited.
booked at the beginning of May for that. And then there's also that song, The Wave, I sang a minute ago. My friend Donnie, he's a phenomenal touring musician, and he's invited me on a really cool tour next year. There's 7 catamarans, big, large catamarans, and they put a touring musician on each one, and then guests buy tickets. And so, like, my boat will have my team on it, and we'll sail through the British Virgin Islands. We'll sail to one island, we'll get off, play a concert, and have a volleyball tournament, and then sail to the next island and do a sand castle building contest, and it is just a fun time.
The struggles of a singer-songwriter. Man,
right.
What a gig it is.
Barely can get coconut rum.
All right. All right, now, want to make sure we get a song in each segment, so before we go into another break and hear from our sponsors, can you play us another song?
Well, I can play you either a piratey song. I should do that. We're talking about boats. Let's do it.
Go for it.
All right.
Here is Eric Erdman, ericerdmanmusic.com.
Magellan didn't have John Glenn's rocket. Still he saw the other side of the world. He wasn't the only one with the means, but he was the one with the huevos to let the sails unfurl. He knew you can hoist the black flag, hoist the white one. There's no in between. Be willing to keel haul all in your way, or be willing to let your dreams stay dreams. You don't think he woke up in a cold sweat with mutiny and scurvy on his mind? Sure he did, but he kept those thoughts to himself, then just stocked up on gunpowder and limes. He knew you can hoist that black flag, or hoist the white one. There's no in between. Be willing to keel haul all in your way, or be willing to let your dreams stay dreams. Anyone who's ever chased a dream has come face to face with that shadowy figure that tells you to quit. He's a smooth talking salesman, and he's had a lifetime to perfect his pitch. But I say, while you're shaking his hand, take advantage of the fact he's in your grip. Pull him in close and dig your dagger in his gut. Look him in the eyes, you give it a twist. 'Cause you can hoist the black flag, hoist the white one. There's no in between. Be willing to keel haul all in your way, or be willing to let your dreams stay dreams. Yeah, you can hoist the black flag, hoist the white one. There's no in between. Be willing to keel haul all in your way, or be willing to let your dreams stay dreams.
Wow. All right, this was fantastic. This might be the highlight so far.
Oh yeah.
The song starts with the word Magellan. How many songs start with the word Magellan and include a reference to scurvy?
Well, I tried.
How long did it take to put the lyrics together for that song?
Well, it was a strange happenstance. So my brain just doesn't work normally, I think.
Good.
And I saw this thing on TV about Magellan, and it occurred to me that in the time of Magellan, even though I had totally put Magellan and Blackbeard into two different oil and water categories, one being a regal scientist, one being a scallywag or whatever you call it. But if you were going to circumnavigate the globe at that time, probably day number 40 was probably indecipherable between. I mean, you couldn't tell the difference between the two. So it just made me not made me think less of Magellan.
Right.
It just made me think
more realistically about
more
Magellan.
realistic. And then I was like, well, that's kind of like when you chase a dream. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. It's a lot of obstacles, and those who stick around and are willing to lash themselves to the mast tend to see their dreams occur more often than those who do not.
Wow. Now, is this another one we can find at ericerdmanmusic.com?
It sure is. It was one of the Fresh Song Fridays, actually featuring Donnie Brewer on it, my buddy.
Very nice. EricErdmanMusic.com. We have one more segment of the Uncle Henry Show with Eric Erdman, and that is next.
Cruise into summertime with an auto loan from Tyndall.
And we're here on Facebook, live on Facebook. So in the next segment of the show,
I got to pick another song.
You'll have to pick another song
All right.
to perform for us.
Thank you for letting me come on here.
Oh, Eric Erdman. The idea, the pleasure is all mine. I mean, this is magnificent.
No,
I'm getting a concert at work. I am actually earning cash while just requesting songs and discussing them with Eric Erdman. Yes, it's almost as difficult as riding a catamaran to build to build sandcastles and all of that, looking for your rum.
I mean, looking for rum can be a tough thing.
I guess it all depends on where you're looking for.
Luckily, the British Virgin Islands have quite a lot of rum, from what I understand.
Now, is your mom watching us on Facebook?
I would believe so. She called me from the parking lot, and she said she was tuning in.
Okay.
So hello, Juanita.
One day we need to have the two of you on the program.
Yes, my mother would be a great guest on the show. She is really just taking the world by storm. It's so inspiring, and it makes me so happy to see her really. I feel like she's been awesome for her whole. I won't tell her age, but she's been awesome her whole life, and but I feel like now she has hit her stride and is being the Juanita that she always has wanted to be. You know what I mean?
She's emerging as full Juanita.
That's correct. She's got multiple charity organizations she's worked with, helped organize. She's got blogs and a podcast, and she's just a part. She is Nappy, a finalist for Quintessential Mobilian.
How about that? Congratulations to her. I think she edged me out of being a nominee. All right, stand by. Here we go. Final segment.
iHeartRadio app, #1 for podcasts.
Back here, final segment of this rare reemergence of the Uncle Henry Show on WNTM. Here with Eric Erdman, Dauphin Island Parkway musician, traveling the world, entertaining many people all over the globe with his songs, his performances. Now, if you've missed a part of the show and you want to watch it again, the video will be available on the official Uncle Henry Facebook page if you want to look at it there. I'll also make the audio available as a podcast later. And these songs, you can find them and many, many more at ericerdmanmusic.com. Before we run out of time, I want to make sure I ask you about the future of Eric Erdman. We're about at the middle of the year. So what does the rest of the year look like for you?
Well, very important show because it's like my big homecoming show is this Saturday at the Listening Room. So tell everyone, tell your mom and them, tell your friends, bring everybody down to the Listening Room of Mobile this Saturday night.
Isn't that a great venue?
I love that venue.
You would never think that a small spot like that would be such a great venue, but it really is.
Yeah. Well, Jim has done such a great job of curating the talent that comes through there, and then really, like I said, lashed himself to the mast and held on through the lean times because he knew his market was there, and he has finally found it to where the regulars is what I mean. It tends to be pretty full.
Oh yeah,
which is great. That's what it needs to.
So that show is this coming Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Okay, at the Listening Room. So if you want to see Eric Erdman, what kind of set list?
I'm going to let it just kind of flow randomly, but I have a bunch of new songs that I've been writing that I'm very proud of. So I'm going to try to play as many of them as I can I don't want people to feel let down if they don't hear their ones they came to hear. So I will take requests, but also I will be trying to fit in the new ones.
All right, the one you just played, what is the official name of that song?
Black Flag, White Flag, because it's the Jolly Roger or Surrender. That's your options.
That would be one that I would shout out if I were at the Listening Room Saturday night. That is such I would describe that song almost as a theatrical. It's a total. What now? Why did you make a fist?
I'm never theatrical, so I'm proud to have a moment of theatricalness.
That was total. That was so.
Which is also not a word.
You just created so many mental images as you were performing it. I just thought it was a true.
I'm just happy that you like the words Magellan and scurvy.
You're not going to find that in most songs. All right, I've got a few other questions to ask, but I want to make sure we can fit a song in. I don't want to end the show with a song being cut off. So, final song for us. What will you share with us?
I have so many, but I just saw one on the list, so I think I'm going to do this one just because it's kind of upbeat and happy, and I did it with my friend Brendan Mayer in Nashville, Tennessee. It's called "Wasting It."
What's the point of getting to tomorrow if all you change is the number on that calendar page? There's nothing quicker at filling a heart with sorrow than running and realizing that you're running in place. I am inclined, maybe by design, to count all the ways that love is a waste of time. But I find now that you're mine, let the clock unwind. 'Cause I don't mind wasting it. The hard thing with heartbreak is how long it takes to mend it. To get up from the fall. For the first time I'm seeing, I don't need a reason to spend it. Just hours and hours and hours with you doing nothing at all. I am inclined, maybe by design, to count all the ways that love is a waste of time. But I find now that you're mine, let the clock unwind. I don't mind wasting it. Until you came along, I didn't know that I could be so wrong, to keep going on and on, saying I am inclined, maybe by design, to count all the ways that love is a waste of time. But I find now that you're mine, let the clock unwind. To count all the ways that love is a waste of time. But I find now that you're mine, let the clock unwind. I don't mind wasting it.
My goodness, the guitar playing. How about that, Eric Erdman? Now, is this the kind of playing you do with the Buddy Rich?
No, not exactly. That was a little more funk and funky rock.
But
stuff.
the
jazz stuff is more.
Some of that, I almost got dizzy with the guitar playing. It was so magnificent. Playing.
I've been working for so many years to make Uncle Henry dizzy with my guitar playing.
That was worthy of knocking somebody over with that kind of guitar playing. It really was.
Thank you very much.
Now, as a professional musician who earns his cash in order to live from playing the guitar and singing, do you have any special ways that you take care of your fingers. Do you do anything special with your fingers? Do you like put CBD oil on them, or do you massage them with hemp seed pumice or anything like that?
I'm very horribly bad at taking care of my body, unfortunately. So it's just, however, I probably put them at risk on a daily basis.
But it's something that
I avoid saws.
Well, I was about to say, you've got to be careful doing simple stuff around the house. If you miss with the hammer and mess up a finger, even if it's temporary, it could affect your way to earn a living.
It does, and it has. So I have learned to try when things. I at least take a moment when things could damage my fingers. That at least I think about it. So I'm at least a little more precautious than I used to be.
So not as many brawls. You don't get involved in any big fights or anything.
I
like
wouldn't
that?
say that. No.
Okay.
No, I'm not a brawler, man.
Okay.
But I am from the Parkway, so don't try me.
Okay. So now, and what about the voice? If you notice that something's going on, do you have any rituals that you go through to things that you do to try to preserve it or restore it?
I think people who are what I would consider more singer. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not a singer. I love to sing, but because I'm a acoustic singer songwriter, like the lyrics are more important. Like I don't do these arias with this operatic.
It's just
which
important.
Really challenging to your to your sustain and all that stuff. Vocalists who do that need to have a regimen because that is more athletic.
Okay.
And my singing is less athletic, and therefore it can take some more damage than the average bear. So I don't do anything.
More important for you to just be understood because of the lyrics.
Yeah.
We're out of time. About 30 seconds left in the show. EricErdmanmusic.com is the website.
Long live the Uncle Henry Show.
Thank you for saying that. I want to make sure the boss hears that also. EricErdmanmusic.com, and you can see Eric Erdman in Mobile Saturday night at the Listening Room. Eric, thank you. So you have blessed this program by coming in.
Thank you for having me. It really matters to me.
Well, thank you very much, and that matters to me. And thank you for listening.
Message and data rates may apply. Please do not text and drive. See purple.com for terms and conditions.
And now for an important announcement. Do you, or does someone you know, sweat the bed? Do you ever wake up feeling like you've been sleeping on a slip and slide? Sweating the bed is a serious but common problem that affects your sleep, health, and happiness. Plus, it's just plain gross. But it's not you, it's your mattress. Fortunately, there is a cure. It's called Purple. Purple is the only mattress with a scientifically engineered smart comfort grid. This patented technology is designed to let air flow freely so you sleep cool. Side effects of sleeping on Purple include sleeping better, feeling better, and, well, honestly, smelling better. Try the Purple mattress risk-free for 100 nights and never sweat the bed again. Now you can pick your own free product with mattress purchase by texting YAWN to 84888. Become a Purple VIP and be the first to know about deals by texting YAWN to 84888. That's YAWN to 84888.
Your home for Rush. Weekdays at 11. News Radio 710 WNTM Mobile. An iHeart radio station. 99.9 WMXC HD3 Mobile. This is News Radio 710 WNTM.
The man accused of killing his wife and holding another woman hostage for 12 hours inside a Letson Farms home, now facing 9 additional felonies. Belton Nettles was already charged with capital murder and the death of his wife, 52-year-old Linda Jackson. Cops say he killed her when she tried to stop him from sexually attacking another woman inside their home. Nettles now charged with 7 counts of sodomy, 1 count of attempted rape, and 1 count of kidnapping involving that woman because he held her hostage. Aaliyah looking for a suspect in a fatal hit and run in Lincoln. State Trooper Jimmy Harrell says 42-year-old Donald Carroll was killed after being struck on Alabama 77 near Speedway Boulevard. It happened 5:10 p.m. yesterday. The suspect's vehicle is a gray Nissan Altima.